Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/TrueOffMyChest, where OP's wife is definitely planning on leaving him. Let's begin. My wife crossed the only line I ever set with her. How can I forgive her? Posted by Reddit user ThrowRA Last Coyote.
My wife and I have known each other for 10 years and got married in 2018. We have very different lifestyles. She's a very devout Mormon and I am not religious. We found some way to make it work. It was a hard road and there are some challenges still, but we love each other very much. She has never met my biological mother. My parents were divorced long before I met her, and I broke contact with my mom after I turned 18. My mom was extremely abusive towards me growing up. She physically abused me and my sister regularly and tried to frame it on my father. She was able to manipulate a doctor to give me multiple medications growing up and she'd steal the meds. Her dirt boyfriend also tried to be abusive to me too. I cut my losses and cut all contact with my mother and her family. So did my sister. My parents, dad and stepmom, didn't approve of my wife at first because of her religion, but they get along now. When my wife asked me when she'd meet my mom, I told her she never would. She's a violent and terrible woman and she has no place in my life and I didn't want her involved in ours. I also told her not to contact anyone in my mom's family. Recently, my mom showed up at my work, which she had no knowledge of. It got ugly and police had to be called to remove her from the property. It was such an embarrassment. When I got home, I told my wife and she just had her "oh shit" look on her face. I asked what that was about. She confessed she reached out to my mom and told her where I worked because my mom wanted to make amends. My wife's beliefs are that everyone deserves forgiveness and doesn't believe something could be unforgivable. I told her that violated the one thing I told her was out of bounds and didn't even tell me until shit hit the fan. She of course has been apologetic. I told her we'd get there, but I needed to get through it. I've been sleeping in the office at home and we've barely spoken since. We are supposed to travel to her parents for Thanksgiving, but I'm really considering staying home with the dogs so I can sort myself out. I'm not sure how to get over this. Edit, added that she's met my stepmom. She's also fully aware of what my mom did to us. TLDR, my wife connected with my abusive mom that I cut contact with and it caused a scene at work and the police to be involved. She admitted to doing it behind my back and I'm just beyond upset. I don't know how to forgive her.
You are correct, OP. This is a grave violation of your boundaries and a massive disrespect to you as a person. I personally will never stay with someone who is capable of doing that to me. But if you want to try and reconcile, then I highly suggest going to individual therapy for your trauma and marriage counseling for you and your wife. Good luck, man. And now for today's second story. My wife loves another man. Posted by Reddit user Puckluck.
I have been together with my partner since we were both 17. It will be 15 years together in August. I have been madly in love with this woman and she has been madly in love with me for as long as we have known each other. We've traveled the world, shared countless ups and downs, and both left our families and moved provinces so that we could lay roots in a place we both now consider our home. We both have very high-paying jobs, but they come at the cost of being away from home. Particularly myself, where I do field work for 4 months per year and am usually only home for 1 week a month during that time. A little over a year ago, things started to be different. She became increasingly distant and closed off, stopped laughing the same way, stopped opening up about how she felt beyond shallow conversation. I have the utmost respect and care for this woman, my life partner, but things were weird and something felt off. I wasn't perfect either, having a moment of drunken weakness in another city and started talking to a woman on Tinder. I didn't do anything with her, but we had about a day and a half of pretty intense sexting. When I got home, I owned up to that and told my wife, and she told me that she had been fooling around with a guy from work. No sex but becoming increasingly intimate. We had a huge emotional moment that was very raw and honest, and we both wanted to save what we have with each other and decided to get on the same page and fully trust one another again. Full phone access, deep conversation, and everything went back to how we usually are. About 2 months ago, she started becoming closed off again. I decided to trust her in our process, but it became increasingly difficult to do and became really obvious something was wrong. I went through her phone one day, something I have only done a handful of times in the 15 years we've been together, and found diary logs going back months with her expressing her love for the man and the emotional pain she is in not being with him. I think she still does love me, but her feelings for this other man are clearly taking over and becoming the most important thing to her. I am devastated because even though we tell each other I love you, and hug and kiss and cuddle every day, she is cold about it. I am devastated about it because I thought we had enough trust and openness to be real with each other about something like this. I haven't confronted her because I wasn't 100% sure of her feelings for this other man and have been slowly trying to confirm and piece things together without creating drama or having her completely shut down on me. But tonight, I read the words in her diary. She truly loves him. It's the last thing on my mind, but we bought a house together, have directed all of our joint finances at paying off her student loans, and I try to do everything I can to financially make her life as easy as possible. If we were to split, the losses, while not crippling for me, would be in the hundreds of thousands, but more importantly, I would lose my wife. I'm probably the lowest I've ever been in my life right now. I feel like I now know this relationship is doomed, but there is still real love there, so it's so hard to say and accept. I don't know what to do, who to talk to, and how to move on, but typing this out has been a bit therapeutic, and it's been nice to get the secret I know off my chest.
OP, just get a lawyer and start the divorce proceedings. Your wife was checked out of the relationship way before the two of you ever cheated on each other the first time. And as you installed Tinder, I am assuming that in reality, you've checked out too. Why waste everyone's time by staying in this obviously toxic relationship? Don't forget to tell their HR about the affair as well. And now for today's final story. I have reasonable suspicion that my wife is using Telegram to communicate with her past affair partner. I'm hoping someone can provide an out-of-the-box or tech-savvy way to find out for sure she is using it. Posted by Reddit user SF1TA.
TLDR, I have reasonable suspicion that my wife is using Telegram to communicate with a past affair partner. I'm hoping someone has some out-of-the-box or tech-savvy thing I could do or use to find out for sure she is. I don't mean acquiring the messages, that would be almost impossible. I just mean a way to find out for sure she's opening and using the app day to day. I'm very good with tech, but I'm left scratching my head as to how to find 100% proof so that I can make sure I make the right decision moving on to the next chapter of my life. I suspect she's logging into chat when I leave for work and logging out when I return. This was her past behavior using a different chat app. Read below for more details, if interested. Not looking for relationship advice or just leave comments.
Well, sir, if you're having a problem with our customer support, you can call 1-800-EAT-A-DICK.
Again, it's a complicated situation. Just want ideas directly about what I'm asking. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I'll try to leave the emotional word vomit out of this and stay straight to the point, so sorry if this is all robotic sounding. I feel like a crazy person the lengths that I'm going through to figure this out. I've been with my wife since we were in high school. Basically, kids, loving families, build a life, etc. I just need to know before I can make a sure decision on what to do. There is a lot involved and a lot at stake. Again, it's just suspicion at this point. My gut has never been wrong yet. I just need to find out 100%. This all started years ago. I don't even know how many years ago at this point. She accidentally left a chat app open with their conversation from the day still there. I don't need to describe the roller coaster of emotions. All of you already know those feelings. That was the first time I found out about her affair partner. They've been talking apparently for years, most of our relationship, if not throughout all of it. She trickle-truthed and minimized everything at the time, though I was under the impression this was a recent thing, had no clue how involved they actually were. We worked through it and went on with life. I thought everything was behind us, years had gone by, but one day she sent a screenshot of something and I noticed the Google Chrome incognito icon in her status bar. My spidey senses were heightened, but there are legit reasons to be in incognito mode, and I've witnessed them firsthand when she was showing me something, so I didn't think much of it, just kind of was aware and filed it away in my brain. A couple months after this, affair partner's wife reached out to me and told me she found them talking and looked me up. She volunteered everything she knew. She told me a lot, sent proof, and of course, they were much more involved than significant other led me to believe at first. Apparently, she was using Chrome and incognito mode to log into a secret Gmail email. This time, I basically said I was done, was out. I can't do this if I can't trust her if she's going to keep talking to him, and I had plans to leave. Somehow I was drawn back in, with the promise that she'd realized now the gravity of things, didn't want our family to be broken up, would do anything and everything to show she's done with him and transparent, etc. I believed her, and I do think she was in fact genuine at that particular point in time. I think what happens is that people get comfortable again when there are few ripples in the water. They get comfortable again, and they'll fall right back into it. Anyway, something has felt off over the last few months between us, but not overly off, just enough. Rewinding back to a few years ago, one day, she was suddenly getting a bunch of notifications from Telegram. She complained of the constant notifications after she installed it and joined a group to get notifications of Amazon flash deals and things, which I could see and was legit. She turned off the notifications, or maybe left the group after a day, and that was the last I've ever seen or heard of her Telegram use. She just stopped using it. Now back to recently, I was sent a screenshot from her for something while I was at work, and I couldn't help but notice the Telegram notification icon in the status bar, and thinking back, I think I noticed another one a long time ago from a screenshot she sent me, but at the time didn't know what the icon was for. Things I know now is that Telegram is notorious for cheating, as it has features which make it very easy to hide conversations. I know for a fact she doesn't use the app in front of me and doesn't have friends who interact on apps for communication. I also couldn't help but notice that Telegram was installed on her current phone, which is a different phone than her old one, which originally had Telegram installed. Without digging into the phone, I'm guessing probably within the last 6 months to a year it was installed. The app is located near the end of her app list. It's ordered by install date. So, given the history and my recent discovery, this is why I suspect she's using Telegram. I understand the icon could be not related to a message from someone she's secretly talking to, could just be a service message, notification that someone on her contacts has joined, etc. That's why I'm hoping one of you has some clever way I can find out for sure she's using the app. Just to know that she's using it while I'm at work would be enough for me, I think. Assuming she's logging in when I leave and out before I get home, it'll be tricky to see if she's doing that. I have an idea but was hoping someone has some clever ways to figure this all out, either looking at something specific in her phone. Maybe some of the general settings might have a tell. Assuming she's not logged into some other out-of-the-box way, it would really help me out in making an informed, tough decision that's going to affect the rest of my life.
OP, she cheated on you twice and you forgave her both times. And yet you refuse to leave. You just continuously trying to find proof so you can confront her again and get played for a third time. Well, it's confirmed then. You're an idiot, a spineless coward that has no self-respect, a true simp down to the core. Whatever you choose to do now, good luck to you. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.